Hey, what's up? This is Abe Simpson here. A couple of weeks ago we had a look at some affordable Techwear jacket options, so it seems only natural that now we cover another really important part of any Techwear outfit, which is the pants. Cargo pants are pretty ubiquitous in Techwear, and almost every Techwear fit uses them in some aspect. Key players, you've got Acronym, you've got Guerrilla Group, Stone Island Shadow Project, Nike ACG as well, and all of those options, while of course they have some really great looking pieces, are pretty expensive, ACG being the most affordable of all that lot, and you'll easily pay $200 plus for a pair of their pants. There's always difficulty in choosing appropriate pairs of affordable Techwear pants because there's quite a lot of different factors to balance. There's the shape and the style of them, there's the material that they're made out of and how weatherproof or how outdoor ready that material is. You've got the cut of them, which might be appropriate or less appropriate for Techwear fits. And of course there's any potential features as well, and all of those things together make for a generally pretty expensive pair of pants. But if we're smart about things and we take certain aspects of those, then we can find things which maybe don't meet every criteria exactly, but still can fulfill the duty of some nice Techwear pants while saving us a little bit of cash. Here I'm going to focus on decent quality and some kind of outdoor performance aspect. So a lot of these pants in themselves will be a little bit lower key, but to be honest, in general with these Techwear outfits, it's the jacket and the accessories and belts and stuff like that which are more important. So I don't think it's quite as much of an issue for these things to be not quite as attention drawing, shall we say. And generally I'm going to be avoiding the Chinese brands, the Taobao brands, because A, I've never bought any of those things, so I can't vouch for their quality at all, and B, because they are kind of imitation products. A lot of them are designed to look very similar to Acronym or Guerrilla Group without actually being them. You might end up with something that either isn't really what you expect or kind of falls apart quite quickly, and I don't really want to recommend that without having my own experience. But I do think the Taobao side of things is quite interesting and perhaps worth taking a look at some point in the future. So I've gathered up a bunch of different options here, and let's take a look. First up is the North Face Perna trousers. North Face have a pretty solid rep for good reason. Everything's generally of a pretty decent quality and outerwear credentials are certainly there. This pair in particular, it's relatively minimal looking. You've got a cute little extra pocket on there, but that's about it. And luckily the North Face branding is nice and subtle as well. These are designed to dry quickly and they're DWR treated, so from a water resistance perspective, I think they're pretty much as good as you can hope for. Usefully, these pants, and I think everything else on this list, does have belt loops, which is super important because it means you can get one of those nice Techwear approved belts on there, and then I think that really is going to help with the aesthetic, especially in the cases of something like these when they are a little bit plain looking. And if you want to pay an extra £10, you can get even more functionality by getting the convertible version of these. They look a little bit weird though, so I'm not 100% sold on these, but if you're really desperate to have something that you can change between full-length pants and shorts, then this is the one to go for. Before I get too far into this video, I'm going to mention aesthetic homage, because quite a few people have mentioned it to me before, and I feel like if I don't talk about it, it is going to get brought up in the comments. So aesthetic homage, from my understanding, basically what they will do is they will take those Taobao brands that I mentioned earlier and put them on a US website essentially, so they're a little bit easier for US customers to buy. And if you're only interested in the aesthetic side and getting things that have loads of straps and pockets on, then you could check them out. But as with the Taobao stuff, it's very difficult to vouch for their quality, and because all they're doing is reselling from Taobao, you're not going to get the best prices. So if you do want this kind of stuff, my recommendation would be go directly there. But if you want the easier option, this is potentially something to have a look at. The CRS 72 is probably the best option on the website. It's $65, so it's not a crazy amount of money, even if they're perhaps not as good as the product pictures make them out to be. They are just made of cotton, so they're not going to have any water resistance whatsoever, but from a purely aesthetic standpoint, then perhaps something to give a go. Next up is the Uniqlo stretch cargo pants. This is a super cheap option coming in at a mere $30, and kind of an alternative to the Uniqlo U wide cargo pants that came out recently, although also sold out quite quickly. They're water repellent, they've got cargo pockets as well, potentially good for summer also because they have a very slight crop to them. The only downside though is the fit, in that these seem to have a very straight fit to them. They don't really have that much shape. It's not an ideal look from a Techwear perspective. They might look okay with something quite substantial like a downtown Air Force One. Your other option though, you could consider getting these and then tailoring them if you have the expertise, or taking them to a tailor if not, and getting them tapered so that from the knee onwards they slim down to a much narrower leg opening. And that could potentially be a very cheap way of getting a pretty decent Techwear look. I mentioned the idea of a summer Techwear pant there, and I'm going to take this idea further forward with this option from Amazon of all places. Now I know that this looks a little bit weird, but bear with me on this one. These are basically just those harem pants that you see festival goers and hippie types wearing, but I do think they have some kind of potential to work in a more summer-focused Techwear fit. These are a linen blend. One could certainly argue that in very hot weather, linen, from a technical perspective, is probably one of the best materials you can get. It's very light, it's very breezy, these pants are pretty wide as well, so you're not going to get too hot and sweaty. And this idea of super dropped baggy pants is actually in vogue to a certain extent, in that there is a Acronym equivalent, the potion seller pants, as people like to refer to them as. This kind of feels like the summer and non-performance version of those Acronym pants. And I know it is a bit of an unconventional option because these in themselves, let's face it, they're not really Techwear pants, but I can definitely see this working in a more summer appropriate fit. If you've got like one of those Guerrilla Group tanks, maybe a t-shirt over the top of that, some kind of bag with a cool strap going on, and then some nice sandals, maybe Teva or Suikoke, something like that. Altogether, I can kind of see it, but as I say, perhaps a controversial option. Back to something much more on the non-controversial side, in the form of the Rothco EMT. Now, one thing that people often suggest when people ask about affordable Techwear pants is just buy military surplus stuff and then get it tapered to your own needs. And I think that's definitely a good way to go about things, because you get things that are outdoor ready, decent quality, and not that expensive. And they have some kind of Techwear look as well, in that they do come with lots of cargo pockets and different things like that. But often the problem is in the fit, in that they're often way too wide or baggy, and people don't really want that when they're trying to rock Techwear stuff. So of all the military gear, I came across the Rothco EMT, which I think is one of the best options. It's got some really nice looking pockets. It's not too wide and baggy, it's a little bit narrower than a lot of things. So I think this, combined with the idea of getting these tapered from the knee down, could end up with a potentially really nice pair of cargos. Next up, the Nike bonded woven pant. I'm putting these in here because I like them a lot. I did actually feature them in a video a very long time ago, maybe a whole year ago in fact. Unfortunately, the price of these seems to be rapidly increasing. The most recent pair that came out, I think, are retailing at like 95 or 100 pounds, something like that, which is not that far away from ACG territory in the basis that you can get the woven pants retail 160. However, they've got a pretty nice slim fit, they've got the zipped pockets, which is always a bonus, and Nike stuff is normally pretty decent and you can't go too far wrong. And I have seen a few people out there on Techwear Instagram wearing these, so I feel like that scores them a few points. A pricey option, but very solid, and if you do decide to pick these up, I'm sure you won't be disappointed. So for me, those were some of the best ideas out there in terms of Techwear approved cargo pants, which aren't going to set you back anywhere near as much as Acronym or Stone Island or Guerrilla Group, etc. Some of these options are very unconventional, some of these options maybe don't quite have the look that one is expecting with Techwear stuff, but as I say, if you're trying to get as much of that Techwear style and performance as possible, you do have to lose some bits in some areas. But I do feel like all of these have some kind of place in Techwear outfits, even if by themselves they maybe fit closer to other kinds of styles of clothing. And as I say, I would rather recommend stuff which I believe has some kind of outdoor performance or some kind of decent quality, rather than just sending people over to Taobao to buy some knockoff Guerrilla Group looking stuff and then have it not quite turn out the way that they are expecting. But that's potentially a topic for another video. But let me know what you guys think about the choices in this video. Which one would you go for if you were going to pick one? Or if you have any other suggestions of things that you've come across on the interwebs, then by all means stick those down in the comments. I'm definitely interested in having a look, because I don't think there are that many really good Techwear cargo pant options out there. So I'm very happy to be enlightened, and if you have any suggestions at all, then by all means stick them down there and other people can check them out as well. If you enjoy this video on affordable Techwear cargo pants and you want to see some more affordable tech stuff in the future, then please do give this video a like. And as always, I will be back next week with some other kind of cool Techwear-y video. So until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Shout out to 30M3 and So Much Black. Yes, the new Antwon Leve stuff looks super cool. I've kind of spoken to them a little bit, but it's kind of not really worked out yet. But hopefully, at some point, there will be an Antwon Leve video. And shout out to Lou Schniz coming in there with the geography knowledge. The follow-up question though is, why did they put Luxembourg on the back of the jacket? If you enjoy this video, you want to see some more, check out these videos up here. And if you've not subscribed yet, then you should definitely do that. You should hit that little button over there. And then when I put up new stuff every single week, then you can be one of the first ones to see it.